All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Allie Antonacci, and I'm an ambassador with It Works. I'm super, super, super excited because we are going to be talking about how to go diamond tonight. Okay, so diamond is the first leadership rank in this company. And we talk all the time that it's about the license to print money. And I'm going to get into that just a little bit tonight about what that really means and how that exponentially can really, really grow your income. But we're also going to, in a couple days, have um, another Zoom about really like digging into that money. So, all right. So as you guys know, I did a Ruby and an Emerald training both earlier today. So I went over kind of a ton of basics at the beginning, a little more intermediate stuff, and then we're going to be getting to diamond stuff. So if there's something that you're not really sure about, for sure, ask in the chat. But also you can go back and watch those two videos. They're both about 30 minutes long. I'm going to try to keep this under 30 as well. So, all right, so going diamond. Diamond is the first leadership rank in this company. We're going to go ahead and dive right in, and we're going to start. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to look right at a diamond chart right here. So this is a diamond chart. I'm going to move this little bar here. All right, so this is a diamond chart right here. And when you're first brand new, that can look, let me see if I can make this smaller. I cannot. When you're brand new, this looks very, very daunting and very, very overwhelming, right? But when you grow from a ruby to an emerald to a diamond, it simply grows. So once you know how to go ruby and make a ruby, you then just simply have to teach people how to go ruby, and that's how you're going to get to diamond. Okay, so your diamond income is around that like $2,000 a month mark. You need to be working on your steps to success at minimum. A minimum steps to success is 3 distributors and 6 loyal customers every single month. That should be your bare minimum. Okay, so to be diamond, we're going to just talk directly all the way through this chart. Here's you. Okay, so here is you. We're going to kind of start at ruby, how you're going to grow there. So you went ruby because your best friend, your customer, and then your spouse all joined your team, right? So once you get your 6 customers, I highly recommend you enroll your spouse. I wish I had enrolled my spouse earlier and started earning income on him. If you have a possibility of doing that, if you just go to the 2020 Vision Casters page, search the word spouse, then you are going to find a whole video about the pros and cons of signing up your spouse. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. But now these 3 people, then they've come to your emerald chart. So you've got your best friend, your spouse, and a customer who upgraded to be a distributor. So they're each going to be a ruby leg, right? And now we're going to move that best friend, spouse, and customer. We're going to take them over here. But you know what? Let's make the most money for our household, right? Let's make our spouse be our emerald. Okay, so, oops, I'm gonna make the best friend to be a ruby, your spouse be an emerald, and there's your customer. All right, so here was your emerald. You had a ruby, and it was nice and balanced, right? Each leg had to have 2,000 GV, and then you overall had to have 5,000. So you went from, you had, let's see here, there's 9 distributors plus you. Now you're looking at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 plus you. So you're almost doubling your chart again. It's not as big of a jump. From ruby to emerald, you triple the size of your chart. Emerald to diamond, you about double the size of your chart. So now your spouse needs to become emerald. One of your rubies needs to become emerald. One of your rubies needs to stay a ruby. I want you guys to hear me here that I highly, highly suggest that this leg not just be a mediocre, barely getting by ruby. Okay, you always want your chart as even as possible. It makes it easier to maintain rank and to continue to grow. It's really, really hard when you are feeling like you've got to pick up the pieces. And especially if you are building your spouse, you're responsible for all this. If this is someone who's not really doing something and you're having to fill in the gaps here too, you can lead a team of thousands. You can lead a team of tens of thousands. You cannot carry 2 people on your back. Okay, you cannot do it. Can you find enough distributors, get enough customers, and make this happen? Absolutely. Is it going to stay together? No. Okay, you cannot do this all on your own. You have to find people who are wanting to work for you. Okay, so work with you. I shouldn't say for you, with you. So this is your diamond chart. To go diamond, you have to have 3 qualified legs. If you don't know what a qualified leg is, go back to the Ruby video, because qualified legs are a 400 GV leg. One of those legs needs to contain an emerald. There has to be an emerald within this leg. One leg has to contain a ruby within that leg, and one just has to be a qualified leg. Okay, and then you have to have a minimum of 8,000 GV. That's group volume. That's your entire organization. So you have your PBV, your personal business volume. That's kind of what you're holding here in your hand. And then you've got your GV, and that's your all overarching umbrella. Okay, so 8,000 GV throughout this. Then you've got this best friend. Best friend needs to be a ruby. Rubies need to have at minimum 2,000 GV to hit ruby. You should know that, because if you're going diamond, that means you've already gone ruby, right? So 2,000 GV overall for your best friend to hit ruby. That ruby has to be a hit ruby. Your spouse needs to go emerald. An emerald needs 5,000 GV. Okay, let's say customer here is only a 400 box. You have a couple hundred PBV. You're not there yet. You're not quite there, because nobody wants a chart that's just the bare minimum. And they do this, they make it a little harder to hit the volume, because they want you to have a strong chart. They want you to have a growing chart. There is no reason that this ruby couldn't be a ruby with a ruby with a ruby with a ruby, you know, all working together. There is no reason that this best friend couldn't be almost emerald. In an ideal world, that's the case. I always tell people that when they're going diamond, if they can get their ruby leg closer to 3,000, they're going to have a stronger chart. Obviously, somewhere closer to 3,000 to 5,000. If you can eke it out, great. When you hit diamond, you cannot stop working. You cannot say, I did it, oh my gosh, great, because that momentum you built in that month when you were pushing to diamond and you were working with everybody and they were hearing from you every day and you're signing customers and you're crushing it, and then all of a sudden you go dark. You want to know what all your team's going to do? They're going to stop working too. Okay, it is okay to take a breather. It is not okay to take a break. Need you to hear that. Celebrate. Absolutely celebrate for a day after a promotion. Take a breather. Not okay to take a break. Okay, and then when you hit your stride with some momentum and your team is rocking, you want to embrace that and go with it. Stay up later. Give up the TV show. If you will only find momentum once or twice in your business. Okay, so you want to grab it when you have it. Okay, so that is going to be your diamond chart. Underneath your spouse, these rubies also both have to have 2,000 GV, right? So same thing goes for whoever your emerald is. If they have a 2,000 GV ruby and a 2,000 GV ruby, that does not equal a 5,000 GV emerald. So you need to have 5,000 minimum over here. You have 2,000 minimum over here. Your entire chart needs to be 8,000. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing screen for a second if I can figure out how. Okay, perfect. So a couple things that I want to talk to you guys about as far as growing your team. When you get to emerald, really after you hit ruby, you have to start leading. It's really, really, really easy in the emerald to diamond world to start managing instead of leading. You do not want to be a manager, and most people started this business because they're sick of a manager. Okay, so you do not want to be managing people. You want to lead them. You want to inspire them. Some will, some won't. There's 52 cards in a deck. There's only 4 aces. Yes, you might sign somebody up who just goes gung-ho. They go bananas. They sign 13 customers their first day. They watch the Ruby videos. They get it. They get themselves to Ruby, all that. That's amazing. You might have somebody who needs to have their hand held a little bit more. Okay, have their hand held. You're showing them things, you're helping to answer their messages. And sometimes when you have that whole big emerald chart or diamond chart and you have a lot of people, and if you're going diamond, you're a good recruiter and you are, it's easy to get caught up with so many messages from your team that you don't actually um, work your own business. So I need you to hear me say 70% of your time should be on your business, your own business, recruiting your distributors, your customers, and doing your self-development, keeping your brain. If you are doing nothing but just pouring in everybody else and you are never filling yourself up, you will come out of a promotion streak, you'll go diamond, you go double, you go triple, and you will be a shell. There will be nothing left. You've gone through these big jumps and you're gonna be exhausted. Okay, so 70% of the time you still need to be bringing in new. 30% of your time you can be answering people's questions, helping them with scripts, but do not be afraid. If you have 4 newbies that are asking you the exact same question, write up a message about it that you can send to all of them. Make a quick 5-minute video. Do not, starting at Ruby, you should not be afraid to lead. If you see there is a need, answer it and create a system. Exactly like I'm making these videos today, because so many people needed guidance about going specifically how to get to a rank. Okay, so you've got to really make sure that you are recruiting, you are building into your chart, and you are leading. You cannot motivate anyone. You can inspire people. Motivation comes from within, but your actions and your success will draw the right people towards you and the right people to rise up with you. Okay, does that make sense? Now, a couple other things. You want to be talking to every single person on your chart about going Ruby from day one. How they're going to go Ruby, what they're going to get, how much money that means, because as they start to see that and I'm going to share my screen again, and people start to emerge wanting to go Ruby, you're going to know who falls in these spots, because you might have your emerald chart one way and think, oh, for sure, my best friend's going to be my emerald when I go diamond, this and that. And then this person down here, let's call her Sarah, she takes off and goes Ruby in like 3 weeks. And you're like, oh, okay, well, half that emerald chart's done. Your chart is fluid. Okay. So for me, I use PowerPoint like a super nerd. And this is my chart. Like, this is how I chart. I have a different one called ongoing charts, and it's all my charts and all my team's charts. But your chart should never be in pen. Your chart is fluid. Maybe this person right here is hung out as a 400 box. They were maybe at 1,000 GB or something, and they signed up one person, and then that person went diamond like overnight. Great, you're gonna move them around. Your chart is always fluid. But I want to talk now about placement and stacking. Okay, so let's say, so you've got your 2,000 GB here, your 2,000 GB here. You've got your Ruby legs. You feel like you got good people in those spots. I always like to, when I'm growing, depending on who is in this emerald spot, I like to be the personal enroller of as many of the rubies on my chart as possible. It doesn't always happen, because if somebody takes off, well, then they're going to take off and run their own chart. But if I'm really building a lot of it and filling in the gaps, I like to be the one who has enrolled those rubies. The more personally enrolled people on your chart, the better your check is going to be, always. Okay, the more personally enrolled you have, the better your check is going to be. Once you are a diamond, the more personally enrolled diamonds you have, the way better your check is going to be. Okay, so let's say, all right, we've got our mom. If you have a parent who wants to work this business, not collect a paycheck from you, directly under your spouse is a great place to put a parent. Okay, and then let's say we've got our coworker, and We've got our cousin, Susie, and we've got, oh, that's what I wanted to do. We've got some random dude we found on Facebook named Nate. Sure, I don't know. Okay, so let's say Susie is like gung ho. She gets her 6 customers, right? She's like, I'm totally doing this. But she only gets 6 30 BV customers. So she's at 180, right? Then Susie's husband is a jerk store and he says, you can't do this. This is dumb. You're in a scam. You're done. And she's like, I'm sorry. My husband told me I have to cancel. I just don't get it. It's dumb. And we're like, okay, well, we're going to turn off your eSuite, turn off your auto ship. You guys, you can't use canceled boxes in a promotion unless there's an active distributor within that leg. So even if someone's like, oh, this isn't for me, I just want to cancel, be like, no worries. We're going to turn off your auto ship. We're going to turn off your website. Your account was here for a year if you change your mind, but you will get charged for nothing. Usually they're fine with that. Okay, so Susie's one of those. And then you're like, well, crap. Susie's not going to work. I don't want to put 220 BV under Susie because she's not even trying. Like, she doesn't even deserve a paycheck. Well, then that's when you're going to sign Amy and you're going to stack her underneath. Okay, so now there's Amy. And let's say Amy does start to host a post, but she came in toward at the end of the month and she managed to get 300 GV by the end of the month. So if you had decided, oh gosh, my mom really needs your Ruby, Susie's not working anymore, I'm going to put Amy on her top line. Well, then you're going to have 4 boxes, but one's at 180 and one's at 300, and you haven't gotten that qualified leg, right? But when you stacked Amy here, now together, their GV is 480. Okay, so that's where your strategy comes from, stacking. Then Susie's customers are going to start to fall off because she's not giving them customer service. She's not following up with them. You can do your best to touch base with them, help them, whatever, but it doesn't always work. But Amy starts going and she's getting customers, and suddenly Amy has 1,000 GV and she's trying to go, Ruby. Well, in essence, on your chart, Amy's just going to take that over. So that's why stacking works, is because that month that you need Susie a 400 box, but Susie's not working anymore, you stack someone under it, knowing that Susie's going to fade off in the sunset, and ideally Amy's going to take over that leg. Same thing goes, let's say this isn't mom anymore. This is some random person named Mary. And Mary was killing it. She went exec. And then same thing. And then she got moved to Guatemala. We're not open for business in Guatemala. And you're like, well, crap. She was supposed to be my Ruby. And now she's like out of the country and the IP address won't even let her access the website. So then you're like, what am I going to do? Do I keep building her? No, because she's not going to be able to be commission qualified. For anyone to be a title, distributor, executive, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, above, they must be commission qualified. Okay, so Mary moved to Guatemala. She can't get products, so she's not even going to be commission qualified anymore. Let's say coworkers kind of dilly-dallying, has like 66 BV. Nate suddenly has like 800 GV, and he signed 2 people. Well, then Mary's not working, Susie's not working, coworkers not working. You've got the rest of your chart and you're like, well, shoot, what am I going to do about that Ruby? Do I just fill in Mary and all these people? No. Nate's going to take it over and you're going to start building with him. Okay, so that's also part of the reason sometimes you stack, is that someone's going to take it over. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen share because I feel like my chat is probably blowing up. So would you actually go in and move Amy under Susie or under mom? Under Susie, you would stack the person under Susie. And your distributor, your upline can help you with this. And if your direct upline has never gone through these promotions, go to your diamond upline. They can really help you with the stacking. You can get all the way up to your triple diamond, your ambassador upline, whoever, and we can help you with that strategy. Okay. So All right, I'm just making sure I'm not missing questions. Now, I said to be a promotion spot, to be an executive, a Ruby, an Emerald, whatever, to get a paycheck, you must be commission qualified. If you are on this Zoom and you didn't know that, then you might want to start at a different Zoom. But if you want to get a paycheck, you must be commission qualified, and you can do that by running an 80 BV auto ship every single month, or by hitting 150 bare minimum personal business volume. I'm going to let you know that if you hit 155 and someone returns a bottle of Fat Fighters on the last day of the month and you drop down to 130, you will not get a paycheck. You guys, I've heard a story of a triple diamond whose auto ship, she was like, I don't need it. I've got a ton of volume. And she didn't. She wasn't commission qualified, and there was nothing they could do about it. I'm going to tell you what, one time, you guys, somehow accidentally, my auto ship volume got moved to somebody else because I typed in the wrong order number. I talked to my account manager, and I opened my ambassador commissions, and it said 0. And I'm going to tell you that my heart fell in my stomach. I got tears in my eyes. I was like, what is happening? Of course, it was fixed quickly. It was figured out. But I had an absolute heart attack. Can you even imagine? You guys are going for diamond. You are going for a leadership rank in this company. It is inexcusable to not be running an 80 BV auto ship at this point. Okay, that was the law when I started. There wasn't a 150 BV option. And I'm not going to sit here and go, well, back in my day, but from the day I joined, I made an investment in my business. And back then I bought a bag of wraps, a box of wraps, and like a thing of grains or a thing of Thermophyte or something I wanted to use. And I sold those wraps for $100. And that was enough to pay for my other product and my website. Okay. Now, if somebody wants to run an 80 BV auto ship, they can get 4 bags of Skinny Brew or Keto Coffee, right? Or Skinny Brew's 80 BV, Keto Coffee's I think 70. 4 bags of Skinny Brew. Okay. At what's that? 60 packets. If they sell those for $5 a packet, they're making $300. Heck, if they sell them for $4 a packet, they're making $240. That's enough to pay for their 80 BV auto ship the next month too, to cover their website, products they want to use. It is inexcusable. I 1000% get it. When someone first starts, they are not ready to spend the money right away. You know, they're trying to get a couple paychecks under their belt. They're making sure their website's paid for, and they don't really have the faith in the business right away. I get that. First month, once you go Ruby, your auto ship should be the law. And if you aren't doing it, how are you going to ask your team to do it? So if we look at this diamond chart, how many boxes are on that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 boxes on a diamond chart. That's not that many, right? Okay. But what if all 15 of those people were running an 80 BV auto ship? That'd be an extra 1,200 GV. You'd hit your volume goal. That gap between what an emerald needs and what a diamond and a ruby needs and what a diamond as a whole need can be covered by an auto ship. But you cannot ask your team to do it if you're not doing it yourself, because you have to believe that these products are worth buying. Same way you have to believe that this business can truly change your life, this business can truly change your circumstances. If you don't believe that, no one else is going to believe you. Okay? 80 BV should be the law. Last thing I want to talk about for diamonds. Starting immediately from the very first time you start signing distributors, never, ever, 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 ever miss a fast start bonus. Because it's the easiest money you can make in this business. Now, for those of you who don't know, a fast start bonus is for when you help someone get started in the business. You've signed them up and then they start working. So they've signed up 2, 4, or 6 customers. You get 50 for every 2 they get. So you get up to $150 in fast start bonuses. You can only get those once they have hit 150 PBV or had an 80 BV auto ship set up. So even if that auto ship is set up, it will run, guys. But here's the deal. After you go diamond, those fast start bonuses start multiplying. The fast start bonuses that your team is getting start paying you as well in what are called cab bonuses. And at that point, that is when you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why is somebody missing that fast start bonus? That's so easy, because it's also going to add $80 onto your paycheck. So if you start from day one that missing fast start bonuses is unacceptable, you never, non-negotiable, ever miss a fast start bonus, then you will get all your cabs, because the culture of your team will be to run an 80 BV auto ship. The culture of your team will be to get every single fast start bonus. You guys, now our fast start bonuses, you have to be getting the distributor themselves to sign up the customer. You can't just move customers to them. They have to sign it up. So what I do when I have a new distributor sign up, I say, great, as soon as you're enrolled, go ahead and screenshot me your enrollment and we'll get you started. When they send me that screenshot, you guys, it has their website on it. So when I am ready to sign up a customer because I want to help them fast start, I'm going to go to amyspence.itworks.com instead of my own site. I'm going to sign up that customer so it becomes Amy's customer. I'm going to manually put them in my Connect app because I don't want to not have them in my Connect app. And then I'm going to write them on my list so I don't forget about them. Okay. And then I let Amy know you don't need to do anything with that customer. You can actually delete them on your app. I'll take care of them from here. Just a little gift to get you jump started. Don't miss a fast start bonus. Okay. Once you move a DT, you cannot move them again. Correct. Yes. So when you sign a distributor, or a customer, you have 72 hours to move them. Here's a little tricky thing. So maybe you sign a customer at 8 a.m. and you sign a distributor at noon and you're like, shoot, I wish that customer could go under that new distributor. They can, but the customer and the distributor have to be signed. If you're going to do like a reverse move, like the earlier one is going to go under the later one, they have to be signed within 24 hours of each other. If you don't have a worker in every box on your chart, of course that's okay. That's normal. That's charting. That's really when I start to stack. Okay. So for me personally, like I have a girl who joined in March. I got her 6 customers. She told me her why. She totally had a freak out at the beginning, and then she's like, no, I'm fine. And then she posted on Facebook once. Well, now she blocked me. She blocked me on Facebook and she won't answer my text messages. So I'm like, okay, but I gave her 6 customers. She already had like 300 BV last month, and she was in a spot that needed to be 400. So I stacked a distributor under her and started helping that distributor get their customers. And I gave that distributor some customers, and that box actually ended up being like a 600 GV box because it was stacked people. If there is a box with no BV, no volume, no active customers, there's no point to stack under that. Then you're going to just start fresh. But if there is volume there, I always stack under it. Okay, so never miss a fast start. You know, I mean, I signed 10 customers in March, you guys, and I got $1,500 worth of fast starts in March alone, or for March, you know, throughout April. That's a lot of money. That's almost as much as a diamond paycheck. That's the other thing. Your first diamond paycheck will not be $2,000. Highly unlikely will it be $2,000. The average incomes are commissions and fast start bonuses. It's average monthly income. Okay, average monthly income. So your first diamond check may be $1,200. It may be $1,000. It may be $1,800. It all is based on volume. The higher your volume number and the higher your volume in your chart, closer to you, the bigger your paycheck is going to be. Start empowering your leadership now. You cannot micromanage everyone's chart. Those people in those Ruby spots, explain to them what Ruby is. Let them have some group messages. When you're bringing people into the business, experiment with co-sponsoring. You know, if you're going to put somebody under a Ruby, get in a group chat with that Ruby and your new distributor and talk to them. Say, hey, you know, I signed you up, but I want to introduce you to Michelle. She's also here to help you. She's going to walk you through some of the training with you and be another resource for you. Then Michelle and Ruby has that relationship. So as Michelle builds her Ruby, she can start to work with that person. If you're trying to micromanage every single person as individuals in your chart, first, you're going to get exhausted. And second, when you need to move on, there's going to be no community. Everybody's going to be free for all. They're not going to feel like they're united together, and it's all going to fall apart. So it's super, 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 it's super, super, super important to build that community within your diamond chart as it grows to your double diamond chart. Because you guys, when you go to triple diamond, you have to build a whole new leg. You have to build a third diamond leg, and you have to go all in over there to build that leg while double diamond and diamond are here growing on their own. And not that you're not going to give them your energy and your motivation and all that, but you can't be building there. You can't be micromanaging. You can't, I mean, to go triple, those other two legs are going to have at minimum 8 rubies in them, while you went and built 3 new over here. Suddenly you've got 11 rubies. You can't be worried about every single person's downline orders, every single person's incoming loyals. Your rubies need to learn how to do that. So if all of your rubies are taking ownership of going Ruby themselves, your diamond chart's just going to happen. You're just filling in the pieces then, okay? That's when you start filling the gaps. And when I have a distributor and I have a customer to place, I always, always, always place them in the spot that is least likely to get it on their own, if that makes sense. So I project out my volumes pretty early in the month, usually by about the 10th. I will spend a day in TreeViewer going through every single customer that is set up to order box by box by box. Yes, it takes some time, but once you get good at it, it goes quickly. Then I know, and then I color code them because I'm a super nerd. So if they're projected to go over 400, they're green. If they're between 200 and 400, they're yellow. And if they're going to come in under 200, they're red. So at first glance, every time I sign a customer, every time I just sign a distributor, if I look at my chart and I see that one ruby has 3 reds, I know that's where my biggest attention is needed. But if that ruby is being a massive roller, I'm like, okay, well, maybe she can handle that on its own. But maybe there's one ruby that's a lot of yellow, but nobody's really working on it. Okay, well, then that place is probably least likely to sign something on its own. So I'm going to put a lot of my customers and distributors there to strengthen it, knowing that when you're stacking and you're placing like that, the cream's always going to rise to the top. Eventually, it's going to all shake out. All right. I have another question here. Let's see. Explain how to drop the person off the new DT's Connect app and how to get them to yours. Oh, you just have to manually add them to your own as a new contact, and then you just put them in the group loyal customers, which is the default group on your Connect app. And then when your DT is in their Connect app, they just click on their, when they go to their contacts, they would just click on that person's name. And then when you go to the edit button, there's also a delete button. It's pretty simple. All right. So does anybody have any questions? I spewed so much information at you guys. You guys can chat now, or you can unmute yourself if you have a question, or you can say we're good and we're going to go diamond. But if you're going to go this month, I need you to make that decision. You can't say I'm like kind of trying to go diamond. I think I'd like to be diamond. You need to be like, I'm diamond. It's happening, non-negotiable. I'm a loyal customer signing machine. People are chasing me down to join my team. Game on. It's happening. I mean, you guys, before I went 9 weeks before I went ambassador, I had 76 empty boxes on my ambassador chart. And I got it done. You have to decide. I like it. I am diamond, I am diamond, I am diamond. Oh, someone said, also when you're stacking, do you do it in eSuite? So stacking is like your placement. When you're moving a distributor or a customer, you would move it under that person, just like you would move a customer or a distributor. Emerald, Miss Diamond by less than 1,000. Oh, Cherie, you got that for sure. Awesome. 10 new distributors, bare minimum this month. Okay, well, it is not unrealistic at all to skip diamond and go double diamond. I'll do a quick screen share and just show you what that looks like. So if you are going double diamond, this big leg is going to be a diamond. This smaller leg is going to be an emerald. So you'd have a diamond and an emerald. So you'd need 8,000 minimum. You'd need 5,000 minimum, but your overall GV has to be 15,000. So there's a bigger gap between like the diamond, like, because a diamond plus an emerald is only 13,000. So you have a 2,000 GV gap you need to be making up an overall group volume. So you're not being unrealistic at all, especially not with the momentum that we're having right now. You can 100% do that. I know a lot of people who have done that. Okay. Skip emerald and go diamond with ruby GV? No, not at all. Not at all. There's no reason that if from a 2,000 GV chart with people working and doing host to post that you can't quadruple that and get to 8,000 GV. Not at all, Keisha. But I'm going to say, don't do it all for them. If you build a diamond by filling every single box to 400, by never making anybody else work, they're just going to sit there and collect paychecks. So it's the whole teach a man to fish, you know, you'll feed him for a lifetime. Not everyone's going to work. There's totally going to be the people that you got to fill to 400. But you cannot have a whole chart of them. All right. What program do you use on my desktop? So I do PowerPoint, and I just download the charts from eSuite and I put them full screen, and I just do control print screen on my desktop. So it copies what's on my whole screen, and then I paste them into a PowerPoint and crop out all the edges. So I have just the chart, and then I just use text boxes for people's names, and then I color code them. Brooke, if you're doing it by yourself, that's fine. Sometimes, you know, I built a significant amount of my chart all by myself, all the way up to double diamond. And then that's when a couple people I signed started taking off and taking over those legs, and it allowed me to go work on my way to triple and presidential and beyond. It used to be actually that like every rank after double diamond, you had to add a new leg. So luckily now we stay in 3 legs, but you still have to have that overall volume. So awesome, guys. Well, I love it. I'm excited. You guys are all going diamond this month. Yes, it's happening. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Bye.